Okay, this week we are working on shadows and reflections. This is different than the other martini glass that's available for you to practice with, but this is a fun one. First thing we're going to do is zoom out one or two times until we can see plenty of empty space around the image. You can do that with your navigator or your keyboard shortcuts, spacebar, command, option. I'm going to go ahead and follow the directions here so that it will continue to show you the steps, and choose view, zoom out. Okay. Then we're going to select the crop tool and choose create a little bit of space at the bottom. We're going to reset the crop tool in case it's not already reset. And then we're going to go ahead, I'm just going to move this, and we're going to drag the crop tool down until we see a little bit more space at the bottom by dragging it down to about 1500 pixels. Anything you want, because you can also crop it when the image is finalized. So if you're not sure, do a lot of space, you can always crop it later, but 1600 should work fine. Oops. Right. And then you can hit return to go ahead and activate the crop. And then we're gonna put a color fill layer beneath the flowers layer. So we're gonna create a color fill layer. We're gonna choose layer, new fill layer, solid color. And it should ask us to name it. Oh, where'd it go? Come on, layer. Oh, it's on my other screen here. There we go. So here's my color fill layer. It's going to be normal, normal mode, 100%. I'm going to say okay. It's going to say what color do you want. You can click up here in white, but notice that's not 100% white. So we could do 255 to get our 100% white, 255 in the red, green, and blue to get 100% white, and say okay. And then we're going to drag this layer underneath. And so you should see now the canvas is expanded. Yes, and we do already have our canvas cropped to 1500. So we're going to hit return and move on to the next steps. Okay. And the next step is going to be to start to create the reflection. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste part of this layer, put it onto a new layer, and then rotate it, and maybe even flip it if you want to be realistic about it. So we're going to go ahead and get our rectangular marquee tool. We're going to activate the flowers layer, select the rectangular marquee tool here, and kind of like just you can do the bottom part. Depends on how much of the reflection you want. You can just do the jars. I think I'm just going to do the jars, and I'm going to be really careful. I'm going to go ahead and just take it to where it starts to get dark. I'm going to cut it off a little bit. And this is intentional. You see I'm cutting it off on the bottom because when I flip it and rotate it and butt it up against itself, I want it to be a nice clean match. If you make a mistake, you can do select, transform your selection if you need to kind of modify your selection. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to hit return. And then I'm going to do a Command J, which copies the selection, and then paste it onto a new layer. Command J. All right, there we go. And then we're going to rotate it, edit, transform. You can flip it vertical. And then you're going to take the move tool and you're going to move it down. Move it down. If you hold the shift key while you have the move tool selected, it'll keep you on that nice straight axis. And sometimes I also use Command up arrow on my keyboard just to nudge it back and forth. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to hit return. If the return tool doesn't work for you, you can click off the move tool or just simply click onto another layer to get it to release. Okay. And we did this part already. All right. So now we went ahead and did a layer via copy. That was our Command J. So we went ahead and did that already. I might just have to do this again to make it happy. Layer new, layer via copy is the long workaround. Okay. We don't need that. I'm going to throw that away. We transformed it already. That's good. Okay. And now we're going to create the reflection. So the easiest thing to do at this stage is to go ahead and add a mask. So I'm going to go ahead I'm going to name this reflection. And I'm going to go ahead and add a mask. And then you're going to choose your gradient tool. That's G on your keyboard for the gradient. Make sure you're in the black and white default mode. So I'm going to click on this tiny little black white icon here. And then I'm going to make sure that my gradient is set to basic, black and white, normal mode, opacity 100%, and the normal gradient. And I'm going to go ahead and click and drag the opposite direction, edit, undo. I'm going to start about here, click and drag down, and you start to see kind of this interesting reflection. And you can further play with it by using some of the overlay modes. Although against white, linear light's kind of interesting. Pin light, hard mix. Against white, probably just multiply, darken, or normal is going to look kind of the same as everything else. But you can also reduce the opacity to play and work with something that looks natural. You can also go in and retouch. So, if you're not really loving how this looks, maybe it doesn't look natural enough. I'm zoomed in and I'm going to move this up a little bit. Okay. But then I have to retouch out some of the white spots. So I'm going to go back in with my black paintbrush on this layer mask. And I'm just going to kind of rub out some of the little areas that aren't clean, those tiny little white areas. Okay. And I'm zoomed in pretty close, but it's easier to see it if you do it like that. And there you go. Fairly simple, fun stuff. From here, if you wanted to, you could create a smart object to add it does eliminate the mask though. So keep that in mind. Sometimes I duplicate the layer, turn it off just to preserve it. Then do the smart object. And you can also play with some of the filters if you want to, although I think it looks great the way it is. It depends on what background you're working on. This is a straight up like white plexi background, but you could also add a little pixelation or noise or distort with some ripples if it's kind of a uneven background. You can see there it's very subtle. It looks kind of illustrative, but that gives you an idea of what's possible. Have fun.